Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I'm going to show you how to add property details in your OamBase property account over here. So let's jump right in. In the one of the video that I made previously, and you're gonna probably have the link, or you're gonna have the link in the description. I showed you how to add a property in your account. So I'm just gonna go through this very quickly. I already selected a property here that we're gonna go through, but let me just go ahead and add this property here. You can also reference the other property. So I'm not gonna comment too much on what I'm adding here. So Cleveland property, this is the address, is in Cleveland. And I believe that is a 3-bed, right? A 3-bed, 1 bathroom that I've seen here. And the property type is a single family. So I'm just going to add that. Okay. So the property has been added. I have different section that I have here that we're going to go through. And let's just start with the very beginning. So with the property being here, one thing I want to say that in my case, I'm using Zillow, but in your case, it could be that you're sourcing property from many different ways. It could be a real estate agent that is forwarding you a property. It could be that you drove in your neighborhood or you walk in your neighborhood and you found a property, right? And you want to have a way to have all the data about the property being centralized in one location. Maybe you're using a notepad, maybe you're using Google Sheets or Excel, but this, I think, is a lot more flexible. It is faster, and it gives you more. You're able to do a lot more. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in here. The first thing that we have is we can definitely go and change the name of the property, but I'm just gonna leave it like this. And we can add a description. This is a quick description, something that you think is really relevant to that property. But we have another place where we can have an add notes if we want to of that property. So in this case, let me just say this is my first investment property. My timeline is 6 months, something like that, right? I don't really have anything else in mind. The property address, in this case over here, as we added the property at the very beginning, it already completed a lot of it for us. But let's say I want to add the street address here if it's really relevant. This is where I'm going to come and add it, and then just say block 3, for example. Okay. The property details, we already added some of it as well, but we have a lot more that we can add. And all this information is really helpful later on when we're comparing different properties, right? It could be that if we just want to invest in properties a lot more that are newer, a lot more recent. This is where maybe that could be a deciding factor, right? But so for us to add it, same thing, we're gonna come up here. In my case, Zillow is also providing me with some of that data, right? But if you have you have a property source somewhere else, you might have wrote it down somewhere on your notepad, or your real estate agent could be providing it for you, or you might look it up on the MLS. There are different ways to have that information. So the first thing is asking me over here, surface area. And I have it here, so it's going to be 1181. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. The lot size is going to be 3676, and the year built is going to be 1920. Okay, so I'm going to save it, and all that information is saved here for me. One thing that you're going to notice, it seems like I actually forgot the parking. So let me see if I can have a look at a parking. So it's letting us know it is a garage, right? One space, and I'm just gonna come here and say it is a garage. It definitely has a parking, and it is a garage. If there is more information, more field that you want to capture, let us know in the comments, send us an email, and we can definitely have a look and see if it's something that we can add. So we have next the neighborhood that we're gonna take a look at. We provided you with a link that goes straight to Google Maps, and on Google Maps, so sorry here, it's looking like it's showing me the data here in Portuguese. Yeah, so it's so with the Google Map, you can. We thought that it was a little bit more relevant for you, and you have a little bit more of a better real estate here to see, what's around. So we can see here we have parks, we have different store, coffee store, and maybe different. Is there a supermarket over here? And if you want to, you can also do a street view, right? And it's all up here available. So with the this section over here, you're gonna see for the neighborhood, you have something you can rate it out of 5 on a scale of you can rate it out of 5, and this is really good later on to just think about the neighborhood, because if a neighborhood is you have a good neighborhood, property in a good neighborhood, it just provides a little bit more value. uh, Zillow does, I believe, provide you with some information about the neighborhood. They have a different way to rate the neighborhood, and you can definitely use it as a way for you to come up with your rating here. But I feel that this is something that you're probably gonna have a feel of the neighborhood, where you think the neighborhood is sitting, and you can give the a better value like that. Um, for the schools in the area, this is really the number of schools that you have in the area, and I believe as well Zero is giving you some details over here about the number of schools, but you can definitely do your own research and decide and come up with the number of schools in the area. I'm just going to say that. The life cycle stage, by default, all properties have the status of research and consideration. But as you go deeper in your analysis, you're able to change it later on, right? So this is available for you, but I'm just going to leave it on research and consideration. And we're coming towards the end over here. The source information. So if we take a look at that, this is gonna be maybe the number in the MLS, right? Maybe over here with Zillow, it's a little bit different because they do provide in the URL, you have the Zillow ID available here, but it's not totally possible to look up the price unless it's possible, but I don't know how to do it. I haven't found a way to do it to look up the property in Zillow only with that ID. It seems like it's a little bit more of something that you are gonna look up with the API of Zillow, but as far as the interface here, I haven't really found. But it could be, so I'm just gonna hide it here, but this could be the MLS number, could be something else. If you don't have, it's not an issue. The listing date, if we have a look here, so this is going to be how long the property has been on the market, right? So over here, you're going to see that Zero is telling us that it has been 40 days on the market. Um, the listing has been updated. You see updated, it doesn't say when it has been added, but it say updated. So those two could be different, but it says over here May 11th, right? So let's go with this information here. So we're just gonna say May 11th, and we're just gonna say as well that it's coming from Zero. And let me copy this over here and add it here, and I'm gonna save it. So that information is added here for us. And if I want to go to Zero later on in the future, I can come back here really quickly. So this is great. The last one, this is something that it really depends on the property. It's not really part of the analysis, but we thought it was something that would be good for you to have. So it just lets you know, just for you to keep an eye on if that property is available right now, if it is occupied, when it is going to be available, which is something that you also have. So if the property is vacant, right now you don't need to add the availability date, but in case it is occupied or under renovation, this is something that you can add as well. So I'm just going to say vacant over here and leave it as it is. And the last section is what I referred to when I was talking about the description. Um, so as you add the description here, and maybe later on you want to add different notes about the property, this is where you can definitely do it. So let's just say is my first property in Cleveland, right? And maybe I have another note where I say this property has been referred by Bob, right? So as I'm adding notes, this is something that I can refer to. I can also search it, and I'm going to show you that in another video, but you can search information that you have completed here later on for reference. But you can definitely add those, or you can definitely edit those if you want to. It's definitely possible, right? And you can also delete those notes if you feel like it's no longer relevant. It's definitely possible as well. So this is what I wanted to show you on that you could do on OamBase about having adding property details in your account. If you have more, if you have comments, concerns, anything, just let us know in the comments or send us an email. We take a look.